Hi, I'm Kim, this is Homestead Witchery, and today I'm going to review the solar cooker. So this is the all-season solar cooker. It's over there in the sun because it's about 1 billion degrees, and if I look disheveled, it's because I've been working for 2 hours already, and I'm hot. But anyway, that's why I'm using a solar cooker, because I live in the desert. It's already starting to be 100-ish degrees during the day, and I don't want to heat up my house. I knew when I moved to the desert that I would want to try solar cooking. When I lived in El Paso, I actually tried cooking in my car, and I was able to do it. I wrote a vlog about it, maybe I'll link it. So the all-season solar cooker is available from allseasonsolarcooker.com for 80 to 90 bucks. It is also available on Amazon, but you're really helping the supplier out if you buy from his website and not the other place. So far I've cooked with this thing 4 or 5 different things. I know I've posted about it before. It's been in a vlog before. Today I'm going to see how hot it heats up. The pot that's in there is empty, but it's been in there for 7 minutes. I tweaked it so it's perfectly in the perfect place to heat. So I want to see how fast it heats up and how hot it gets. Today I'm going to cook pizza eggs, and I have cooked squash. I actually made pasta sauce, and that's the only cooking method I used is this thing. It took a full week. Well, it took 6 days, but 2 of those days were cloudy, so I didn't use it at all. I just left it in the fridge. And like 1.5 days I was really tired because it's 1 million degrees, so I slept and I didn't turn it as often as I should, because you have to orient it at the sun to get the best, to make it cook the best. The best cooking times are usually 10 to 2. With this cooker, you can cook as long as the sun's out. You can use it. Doesn't matter time of day, as long as it's hitting sun, because it's adjustable. And it has a little thing called the sun sight, which helps you figure out what the best angle is to make sure you're getting as much sun as you can. And I think that's it for the intro. I'm going to take you over there and let's see how hot this thing got. Sorry my face is covered, but it's hot and I'm not trying to die. Okay, so let's see how hot it is. The outside of this is 157. The inside is 199. That is at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's not at prime heating time. And it was about 8 minutes heat time. That's how fast it heated up. I had to come back in the shade. It's just too hot over there. So what I'm using to cook in is the Nesco. It's the interior, like the removable part of a Nesco roaster. It's, I don't know what it is, aluminum maybe, steel, I have no idea, but it's black and it has a glass lid and it's got tall sides, and that is the big thing to make this cooker work well. You could use cast iron, but it has more mass, so it is harder to heat up all the way, though it would retain heat longer, so it would cook longer after you lose sun. But the website instructs you to use a tall container with a glass lid. The container should be black because that helps absorb the heat. This works by heating up the container, and then whatever's in contact with the container cooks. So I have a short cast iron skillet with a glass lid, which worked okay, but this works so much better because there's more surface area, and that's mainly what you want to get it to work well. When it hits 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I'll come out here and I'll cook some eggs, and we'll see how fast that goes. Alright, it's 20 till 11, so I'm going to go ahead and start the eggs. Sorry, you can hear the freezer in the background. It's hot here, things go off. Anyway, so my recipe that I call pizza eggs, because it's basically pizza on top of eggs, starts with an omelet base. And I'm going to use 6 eggs because it's a big pan. Plus Ken will be home in a few minutes. And he's going to want to eat too. Garlic herb seasoning and powdered parm. And now I'm going to go outside and put it in the pot. Alright, I'm going to reorient this so it hits the sun hits it better. This is the sun sight. The shadow, it works kind of like a sundial in that you look at the shadow to see where you need this to be. When there's no shadow, you have the perfect angle, but I put it a little bit to where the sun can move and it still has a good angle. And so that's set up. Now I'm going to go get the food to put in it. Okay, I have butter and I have eggs. Oh, I should have 2 of these. Oh well. You can see it's melty already. Well, hopefully you can see it. I'm trying to get the whole bottom covered so they don't stick. Okay, it's 10:50. I'm gonna come check it at probably 20 after 11. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes and I just checked. It is 160 on the outside, 120 inside the container, but they're not done yet, so I'm giving it another 30 minutes and I'll go out and check it again. Okay, it ended up being about an hour. That's just how long it took. So first I'm going to check and see how hot everything is. Outside is 156. Inside's 171. And the eggs are done, so I'm going to put toppings on it. Putting my pepperoni on before the cheese because we're low carb and I want crispy browning on top of the cheese, which I'm not going to get this way, so I got to use a torch. Anyway, it's low carb, that's why I'm using the eggs. You can put it under the broiler if you're cooking in the house, but it's just too hot. Italian seasoning. And mozzarella. It is not going to take that long to cook. 12:15 now. I'll come back out at 12:30 and see how it is. Let me show you. That is how it looks in there, and then I'll come back in about 15 minutes, like I said, to make sure it's melted. Alright, it is done. I don't know if I can show it to you because I think the cheese might slide, but I'm going to try. Yum! Add some Italian herb seasoning. And then, because I like the brown bits on the cheese best of all, I'm going to use the torch to do that. I put the herbs on because I like that little singed herbal taste that you get. So here we go. Just enough to brown it. Nice and browned. Now I'm going to eat some. You know the dogs come running where they hear food about to happen. Super yum. Super easy. My house is not hot. I've managed to get everything done without using the oven. It's delicious, and I definitely recommend the solar cooker. It's super easy to use, super easy to figure out and put together. It ships flat packed, and you can fold it up again if you just want to store it in winter or whatever, if you don't live in a place with a lot of sun like I do. Definitely check it out. I realized as I was editing this video that I didn't actually do a very good review. I just showed you how to make something. So we're going to give you the pros and cons of the solar cooker. You go first.
Okay, so everybody likes good news first. Let's start with the pros. We like pros.
I don't like good news first, though.
Most people
Anyway.
Pros are, so we've already cooked, like, I don't know, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 meals. Or not necessarily meals, but 10 things so far. And that included some meals. Since we got the solar oven or cooker, we have not used our stove inside the house.
Or oven.
Or a range top, yeah. Which has been awesome because summer has fully kicked in here in Arizona, and we're not heating up the house.
Yeah, when I cook dinner in the evening, if I use the oven or the stove, it heats up the kitchen where the thermostat is.
Right, so it kicks on the AC. So we're probably saving several hours a day of AC by using the solar cooker outside.
Right.
And the grill. We have used the grill too.
Another good thing is, if you're off-grid, this thing's great for you. It's also affordable in that it cost about $90. It was like $90 shipped. Got here pretty fast, and it comes flat, so it's very portable
and very compactable. If you want to put it away somewhere in your house, it's not going to take up a lot of space. A con to it being lightweight and you really compact it down is that it is very lightweight. Now that's a pro too, but the con to that is that if it's windy at all where you're at, you need to weigh it down. So what we ended up using was a paver, which is like, what do you think of that, 8 by 12?
I think it was 8 by 14.
Yeah.
It's like the length and width of a cinder block.
But it's only, maybe that
2 inches.
Thin, yeah.
If that thick.
So we wrapped that up in aluminum foil.
And that was recommended by the manufacturer, actually. We didn't think of it.
Yeah.
I just cussed a lot when all our food dumped over the first day.
Yeah. The cool thing about that is that it weighs it down nicely and it acts as a heat sink. So as that stone heats up through the course of the day, it holds heat and it actually helps cook your food. Especially if you want to do like multiple meals.
Yeah, one day I roasted a bunch of squash, and that's what I did second. First I cooked eggs, like the eggs that I showed you earlier, and then I roasted squash, and the heat kept radiating from the cinder block.
Yeah. I could see that being like if you had a scenario where you didn't have as much sun in the afternoon,
Or if you're using it in a colder place, put it under your seat or something and sit on it, because it's gonna hold a decent amount of heat for a little bit at least.
So we're saving fuel, free fuel. We didn't really mention that. We honestly figure this thing is gonna pay for itself maybe within 2 to 3 months. I figure.
Based on how much air conditioning we're not using because we're cooking outside.
Yeah, that and the propane that we use for the stove. Because that actually does end up eating up quite a bit of money. So the $90 of investment for the cooker, said just 2.5, 3 months tops. I think it'll pay for itself here.
I'm very happy with it. So it's relatively inexpensive, portable, off-grid. So if you're off-grid, this is a way for you to cook. One thing about this particular cooker is that it uses all the hours of sun in the day. It's not just 10 to 2 like most of them. You can cook as long as there's sun, it'll heat up.
Right. It actually has read the instructions. So it has a sundial on the top of it.
They call it the sun sight.
Yeah,
I know it's a sundial, but
it helps you aim the cooker so that it's getting optimal sun all the time. The one thing we still need to do is this is hard to understand unless we were really demonstrating on the cooker, but
it's too hot to do that right now, sorry.
And it's windy outside. We need to add kind of some little tiny guy lines and some clips to hold it together a little bit better, because when it's windy...
not together, just to hold it in position.
It's kind of a clamshell type of thing, so you can adjust it to get that optimum amount of light or sun to it. And if it's windy, it can kind of blow it out of
whack.
Yeah, so we're probably going to add that.
It does have screws and rubber washers, so if it's not windy, it will stay in position when you move it. But if it's windy, our wind is strong, and it's very windy constantly, so we need something else. The manufacturer actually suggests using binder clips and maybe some twine later in the day and earlier in the day when the sun's lower. It holds an upright position really well during the prime time, but later and earlier in the day it doesn't close as well, and you want it more in the closed position to get that sun in those times. And like you saw earlier, it wasn't prime conditions, and it heated up to about 200 degrees in 8 minutes. So even the real test is going to be probably in winter for us, when the ambient temperature is lower, to see if it still cooks as well.
It probably will take us longer to cook something. But...
Oh, that's one of the cons.
What?
Because I have a very poor concept of time. I didn't realize that it took about an hour to cook eggs on a good day. So that is one of the cons. It takes a while to use this, which I don't know. I wasn't really aware of fully, because I'm bad at time. It just doesn't process the same way with me, I think. So give yourself time to cook if you're going to use this thing.
Yeah, don't expect to have a meal.
It's not like a microwave.
Right away. Think of it more of like...
Crock pot?
Yeah, crock pot. Slow cooker. In fact, using a crock pot as your vessel is a really good way to use it.
Yeah. Or a crock... If you have a metal liner for the crock pot, yes. But don't use a crock, because it's not going to hold the heat very well.
Right.
Finding a cooking vessel might be a con for you. They have some tweaks and hints and recommended things that in the little brochure that comes with the cooker, and there are some on the website, and I think there are some on YouTube if you do a search.
Yeah, I just can't wait to experiment more and more. Like we were talking earlier about doing maybe some baking in it. We do low carb quite often, but you know we still like to bake every once in a while.
Yeah.
So that would be fun. I don't want to start using our cast iron in it more too.
The first time I used cast iron, and it according to the manufacturer, you can use cast iron because it takes so long to heat up, it's not as ideal as the thin walled whatever it is. I don't know what it is, steel or something.
Okay.
But in my opinion is that if you are going to do a longer cook and you're okay with just letting it go after the sun goes down, that cast iron is going to hold that heat and continue to cook whatever you're cooking.
Right. I was kind of thinking about like if we picked up a cast iron Dutch oven type thing.
Recommend, thumbs up, go get you one. It works great.
I love it.
Jesus.
Good timing, dog.
Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Now I'm gonna go eat lunch. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.